Prime time Tua returns. The Dolphins take on the Titans in Week 14 on Monday Night Football, and are we in line for a blowout win by the Dolphins and another appearance from Mike White in the fourth quarter? Or will the Titans surprise all of us by making this game closer than it should be? We're previewing the Week 14 Monday Night Football game between the Tennessee Titans and the Miami Dolphins. We'll also talk about how FITZMAGIC absolutely buried Brian Flores, amongst other things. So let's get into it.
Loses the football. Touchdown! Got it!
You have got to be kidding me.
Jalen Waddle has a Dolphin touchdown. And he will score!
Field on the near side, that open. Touchdown!
The run from Tua Tagovailoa.
Touchdown!
He's going deep. He's got it for the touchdown again.
Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan.
Let's go!
What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. We are back here for another one. Appreciate all y'all for coming through on this Friday, spending some time with me as we preview this Monday Night Football game. Now, firstly, I haven't decided yet. I might be doing a late night stream this weekend. Maybe, I don't know yet, but I might do a late night stream and do the giveaway and stuff like that. I haven't decided yet. If not, then I'll probably do it on Monday's recap show at the latest. Tuesday's recap show at the latest. I apologize. Just a scheduling reminder, too. There'll be no finish line again this week. On Wednesday, we'll be breaking on the film. But Thursday, me and Neil will be back at it. So, shout out to Justin Vanderberg for his 14-month membership. What's up, Reason? 10-3 on the way. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Hey, shout out to Tyler Dunne. All right? Dropping that piece yesterday and really letting McDermott have it. If you didn't know, today's actually the 1-year anniversary. On December 8th last year, I had Tyler Dunne on the channel. We talked about his article about McDaniel. Remember, he wrote that Lynn Bowden article a couple years ago, the one where Lynn Bowden talked about what went down with the Raiders, and he actually ended up getting punished by Brian Flores over it. By the way, I got to say, if you haven't had a chance to watch Tyler Dunne, the homie Tyler Dunne, he's a great guy, man. Like, we talk, we have each other's phone numbers, we talk, he's a good dude. So, listen, if you haven't had a chance to see him on The Herd, go watch him on The Herd today. Go watch him. Oh my God, you're going to have Flores flashbacks. Never mind the 9/11 stuff. The environment in Buffalo. One assistant head coach told Tyler Dunne, it's a big thing when you win in a week in the NFL in Buffalo. You know why? Because not only do you got to beat the team you're playing on Sunday, they said you got to overcome McDermott all week. Like, man, I'm telling you, Brian Flores gets a head coaching job, which he never should, because I don't know who his reference is going to be, especially after we go over Fitzpatrick tonight, who was one of his boys. But if Brian Flores ever gets a head coaching job, just please, for the disaster and for all of us to get a good laugh, please hire Sean McDermott. I want to see that thing. I want to see that just blow up whoever takes that chance. Oh my God. These two are two peas in the pod. Go watch Tyler Dunne on Colin Cowherd today, the segment. I actually retweeted part of it. You can go to my Twitter and catch it. He explains it's very similar. Remember what Nick Hicks said on this channel that Albert Wilson told him about the environment? Very, very similar, man. Very, very similar. And I see Bills fans and Bills content creators, not very good ones, casuals who want to talk football. They're trying to run my boy and drag my boy Tyler Dunne through the mud. Oh, he wrote a hit piece. Well, guess what? All right? If your coach wasn't such a POS, these pieces wouldn't have to come out. Tyler Dunne talked to over 25 different players and members of staff and in that building. And they're all willing to talk to him. All right? This goes back. Listen, I see there's some revisionist history going on. Let me make this clear. If you're listening or if you're not, I don't give a fuck whether you're on radio or you were writing for a publication. Okay? No one was out ahead of the Tua and the Flores beef like I was. I had that information in June of 2021. I didn't wait for a losing streak to all of a sudden start putting pieces together. Okay? I had that information from June 2021. No one was out ahead of that discourse. And everything I reported, whether it was on here or whether it was on Patreon, as that season went by, was all confirmed by the likes of Barry Jackson and such, all the way down to when I was the first one to report that Tua and Flores got into it during the Titans game at halftime. I was the first one. The very first one. And which got confirmed later on. So, listen, I was out ahead of that stuff. People tried to drag me through the mud because they loved Brian Flores and blah, 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 blah. Everything was sunshines, rainbows, and lollipops. And remember, what was I saying? After I found out all the information in June 2021, what was I telling each and every one of you? If we start losing, y'all are going to turn on them. And I said halfway through the season, right? As things started getting bad, what did I say? This is turning into the Dolphins are going to have to choose between Tua and Flores thing. This is all stuff I was saying and out ahead of. So I understand the position Tyler Dunne's in right now. All right? He's out ahead of really showing the toxicity in that environment. And listen, is anyone surprised? We knew something was amiss even before the Stefon Diggs stuff. I was raising my hand and some don't smell right with this whole Leslie Frazier thing. Then we go ahead and find out that in the last 10 seconds of that loss to Kansas City a couple years ago in the playoffs, where they blew that lead with like under a minute left, you go ahead and find out that McDermott took the defensive play calling away from Leslie Frazier, and that's the reason they got knocked out of the playoffs. It's all ego with that guy. And then the Stefon Diggs stuff has happened, and now all this is happening. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. People want to shoot the messenger? Just because fan bases might think something so unimaginable or whatever doesn't mean it's wrong. Doesn't mean it's wrong in the slightest. And I see Tyler Dunne going through exactly what I went through when I was out ahead telling everyone, if it don't go well, this guy's done. 13 seconds, yeah, sorry. I remember all of what Tyler Dunne's going through right now. I went through it with Flores. He's going through it with McDermott. And I told Tyler Dunne today when we talked, I said, brother, just keep being great. Literally, just keep being great. Don't let these people deter you from great journalism. And Tyler Dunne is fantastic at what he does. If you haven't subscribed to Go Long TD, go check it out. Tyler Dunne does fantastic work. So, man, you know, he's a good dude too. So, shout out to Tyler Dunne and everything he's done this week. I got a real interesting question for y'all. After what we saw on Monday Night Football with Bailey Zappi and everything going on in New England right now, I got a legitimate question for everyone in the chat. I want to hear whether you're watching live right now, whether you're watching after the fact. Put it in the comments if you're watching after the fact. If you're live right now, put it in the live chat. I want to know, this offseason, would you, if he gets released, if he gets cut, or if he's getting pennies on the dollar and a 6th or 7th round can obtain him, would you acquire Mac Jones to be Tua Tagovailoa's backup? Yes or no in the chat right now. Would you acquire, if Mac Jones is going to get cut, if he's going to get waived, whatever the case is, would you acquire him to be Tua Tagovailoa's backup? I want to hear in the chat right now. F Money says yes. Tommy says no. Scorpion King says yes. Duke says no. Ronald says no. Yes. J Rose says no. Rome Gray says emphatically, hell no. Donnie says no. Foxing around says low-key yes. Absolutely not, says Scotty. No, yes, yes, no, no, no way, Jose. We got yes, nah, yes, no. Man can't run this offense. 100% yes, because we have coaching. Yes. He's a good QB in a bad situation. Yes. Yes. Well, remember, Tua was apparently broken too, right? We'll get into that. Hell yes. See, listen, yes, no. Why not? Wouldn't hurt. Yes. Seems 50-50. I agree with you. Listen, I agree with the people that are making this point. Okay, well, there's no quarterback. If he's coming here, there's no quarterback controversy. He's a backup, okay? He's not a starter, all right? Period. Okay, I'm talking about just from a backup. You know what I mean? No drama. We should get Zach Wilson. But Tua is still winning when broken. Fix him and trade him. Warner brother got it right there, huh? Hey? That's woke thinking right there. See, listen, I would. I think we could fix him. And what Warner brother just said, you could trade him. Because of what he did in his rookie season. We know Shanahan wanted him. Listen, I don't know if any of you watched Brock Purdy in actual college. I watched Brock Purdy in college, okay? Listen, Brock Purdy, I'm not saying Mac Jones is Brock Purdy, and I ain't saying he sure as hell ain't Tua Tagovailoa. But I think he could operate this type of offense to the level that, Jimmy G did, which, again, that's not Tua, that's not Brock Purdy, that's not MVP Matt Ryan in this offense. Let me make that clear. But I think our staff could fix him. I really do, man. I really do. And then you could turn around and trade him. If that was the goal, I would be 110% down. Do we really think Skylar Thompson or Mike White is a legitimate backup? I think if you get Mac Jones, you have one of the better backups in the NFL. And Tua's going to be healthy. I ain't worried about Tua missing games. So Tua stays healthy. Mac learns his craft. Tua's way ahead of him. He ain't catching Tua tomorrow or next week. He ain't catching him anytime soon. We can fix Mac, get a second back at least. I agree with that, Carlos. I do. Those saying no forget how efficient Mac was at Alabama is exactly why. He and Tua play the same style of game, though Tua's more mobile. Like you said, fix and get picks. And, Tua's more accurate. Tua throws with better anticipation. Tua's got a better and livelier arm than Mac. And I agree with you. He's more mobile. He can extend plays better. Agree with you 110%. But Mac Jones has still got accuracy. He can still process. He's not the high-level elite processor Tua is, but he can process. And I think our staff could fix him and then acquire trade. Do what the Patriots did, man. Keep getting these guys, build them up, and trade them for picks. How many quarterbacks came and went under the Brady regime, whether draft or whatever, that they traded and got picks for? Should we be any different, man? Let's accumulate. We're better drafters than the Patriots. Let's accumulate draft picks. I'm down. So, listen, I'm not afraid of quarterback controversy or drama with our coaching staff. They're going to let it know when Mac walks in. Macaroni, Noodle Arm Jones, this guy, the Samoan Sniper, 305 Tua. That's the dude. That's the man. All right? And don't even think about to be the man, you got to beat the man. Because you don't stand a chance to beat this man, okay? MVP Tua, baby. You ain't touching that, Mac. All right? So you can sit back. You can relax. You can be the Mac 10 in the holster. You can be the Mac 10 in the holster. If that 50 cal ain't taking everyone out and we got to, get down and dirty. You know what I'm saying? We're good. We got the sniper. We're good. You can be the 50 cal if ever we need to send in ground enforcements. You know what I'm saying? You can be that Mac 10 on the ground. You can hop in and you can go in on the streets and you can come from force on the streets. But we got the sniper on the roof and we got the best sniper in the game. We don't need you right now. We can use you in a fourth quarter. See, I think Mac can reach that level of processing. He will never have Tua's arm accuracy or anticipation, but Mac was recruited to Bama for a reason. I agree with that. See, Bari's got the idea, you know? Bari knows exactly. He would be elite handing the ball off to Achane in this offense. 110%, Paulie King. 110%. I think Hard Knocks helps free agents wanting to come play for us. They see, you know, they see. Listen, I don't know if you guys saw what Omar tweeted out today, but I mean, you know, I'll read it to you guys. Let me pull it up here. I'll read it to you guys because Omar said some stuff, and I don't think this should go by anyone's wayside. And it talks about how close this team is and how bonded they really are, right? So Omar Kelly tweeted a couple hours ago, said, confession, this is such a unique Dolphins team. I've never covered any team like this one in my career. They love one another. They're locked in weekly, well-coached team, and good leadership everywhere. You got something here. I'm just saying. And it's what we know. We know all this. But we know this. We all know this. But when you have a guy like Omar putting that into writing and putting it out there, man, we got something special is brewing down in South Beach. I mean, that's it. Something special is brewing down in South Beach right now, and it's amazing to be a part of it. It really is. And I got to say this. I'm ready for primetime Tua, baby. I don't know about all you, but I am ready for primetime Tua. Okay, before we get into everything, I'm going to kick it off with this because if you didn't see this. Okay, so if you guys remember yesterday, the deal was Tua Tagovailoa went up, and I played the clip yesterday during Fin Too Deep. If you haven't had a chance to check that episode out, go check that episode out. Me and Neil always have a great conversation. And the deal is this. We all heard Tua Tagovailoa talk about how Austin Jackson was being thrown under the bus in meetings. I brought up, to Neil, I'll bring up again here. Not enough people talk about it, but I always bring it up. How Brian Flores and his staff killed JP Phillips' confidence so bad. He had to see a sports therapist. Now you look at how he's playing right now. Unbelievable. He would have never. Tua ain't the only one that wouldn't have reached his ceiling under Flores. But it sounds of it, JP wouldn't have either. Anyways, I digress. You know, we know how I kept reporting how much X and him didn't like each other. You know, it was a lot deeper than Tua and Flores. But this is Ryan Fitzpatrick. This was literally one of your boys, Brian. Brian, this is one of your boys. And he's selling you up the river. And he's letting everyone know what the deal is. And oh boy, I'm going to play this clip for you right now from Monday Night Football yesterday. We already heard Flores get subtly. Now he gets straight up buried. And this is by one of his boys. And we knew his boys from the Patriots didn't like him after they left here. Landon Roberts, Van Noy. Here's more proof. Check this out. You guys are going to, holy jeez.
A rookie, but it's been downhill ever since, including being benched Sunday
Turn it up.
and tonight. So it feels like Mac Jones is, for lack of a better word, broken right now. Can he be fixed?
He is definitely broken. Mentally, emotionally, he's broken. You know, I look to a few similar examples of first-round quarterbacks that have gone through the struggles, Jared Goff being one of them, and then Sean McVay comes in and they're able to fix him. Tua Tagovailoa, who I was with, Brian Flores, same New England way. He was broken from Brian Flores, the way that he treated him, the way that he coached him. And what happens? Mike McDaniel comes in, he restores his confidence, he gets it back, and now he's an MVP candidate. So,
I mean, one more time, listen to the exact words he used. Broken. Look, and listen how he explains how he treated him.
So it feels like Mac Jones is, for lack of a better word, broken right
wow.
now. Can he be fixed?
On national TV, Brian.
Broken. Mentally, emotionally, he's broken. You know, I look to a few similar examples of first-round quarterbacks that have gone through the struggles, Jared Goff being one of them, and then Sean McVay comes in and they're able to fix him. Tua Tagovailoa, who I was with, Brian Flores, same New England way. He was broken from Brian Flores, the way that he treated him, the way that he coached him. And what happens? Mike McDaniel comes in, he restores his confidence, he gets it back, and now he's an MVP candidate. So
I keep going back to this. Who the hell's going to hire this man? Who's going to reference this man? Bill Belichick sold you up the river too. Who's going to reference this man? Mike Tomlin? Brother, there's only one Mike Tomlin. There's a lot more people that are going to be louder against you. I mean, the way he treated him, the way he coached him, the exact quote. And Fitz was your boy. And now he's selling you up the river. I'm just saying. That is, I just don't, I can't, listen. Any NFL franchise that's going to hire this jabroni, when you have Kyle Shanahan's staff, you have Mike McDaniel's staff, you have Dan Campbell's staff, you've got these staffs with these respectable, really smart geniuses in some cases, head coaches. That's where you should be plucking from, not Minnesota, who are a bunch of losers because Brian Flores is getting something out of the defense. Are you crazy? Any franchise that hires that over what I just listed deserves the disaster that's going to come with that. You deserve it. Like, brother, I'd be looking at what DeMeco Ryans has done with his staff before I look at Brian Flores. Are you crazy? Fitzpatrick, and here's the thing. Fitzpatrick's one of the most loved and respected players in the locker room around the league when he was in the league. You saw how many players in Miami loved him. It's the same way in Tampa, same way in New York, same way in Buffalo. Wherever he went, that's one of the most loved locker room characters and people that have been in the NFL in the last 10 years, and he threw you under the bus? Holy jeez. Man, there ain't no coming back from that. There ain't no coming back from that one. Ouch. Ouch. And now the Patriot way, everyone's highlighting how it's destroying Mac Jones. And there's talks internally about Belichick getting traded to another team. That way they can have an amicable separation instead of having to fire him. The Patriot way has died. It was the Tom Brady way. It's over. These guys come, it all stems back to Bill Parcells. Listen, Bill Parcells acted this way and did what he did in the 80s. That was 40 years ago. 35 years ago. Time has passed these relic ways of coaching. That's just what's happened. And any team that hires Brian Flores, you deserve everything that comes with it. Oh my God. Guy can't put together an offensive staff, let alone would you ever. What owner, what GM would entrust this man's ability to nurture and develop a franchise quarterback you draft? Who the hell would trust him? You would have to be absolutely off your rocker. Off your rocker. I don't think McDermott makes it, if he makes it past this season, he's done in the off. It's over, bud. Whether he gets fired tomorrow, today, next week, it's happening. Black Monday, when everyone gets axed, McDermott will be at the top of that list. There is no way McDermott returns next year. It's over. It's done. It's done. Now you got players going to Tyler Dunne and giving him this information. buddy, the ownership's going to have to move. It's done. And even the Chiefs, look at the Chiefs. Chiefs are without so many players this weekend. Isaiah Pacheco's out. All these players are out. It's crazy. So, and if they lose that game, that's going to be even worse. Then, yeah, if they lose this weekend with all those injuries, holy. And that's the other thing, Scotty. Who's going to hire Josh McDaniels again? After what he did to the Colts, we were all shocked he got another opportunity, and then it went down like that. Man, I've heard rumors that Vegas, quietly, if they could make it happen, they'd bring back Gruden. Shows you how much they loved what good old Josh McDaniels was showing them, eh? Anyways, let's get into this preview here. So, for all you heading to the game on Monday, this is what you're dealing with. It's going to be 67, get down to 66. Slight chance of rain showers in the fourth quarter. Don't worry, Tua Tagovailoa in the offense will probably be on the sideline by then. Let's be honest with ourselves. The precipitation probability, it goes up to 6%, so it's not even that high. But you are going to have, 14 mile per hour winds out of the northeast, and gusts could get up to 19 miles per hour. Could get up to high as 20. So it should be clear. Slight chance at the end of the game. Pack your little Dolphins poncho, rain poncho, in your backpack, in your purse, whatever you're bringing. All right? Hooked Up Joe says a cold weather game. Brother, I love your guys' definition of cold weather. It makes me happy because that is, that's 19 degrees Celsius, my guy. Right now in Canada, where I'm at in Canada, just for an example, right now I'll just read off what it is tonight for me. It's 6 right now. It's going to it feels like 4. And for example, right? This weekend we got lows of -2, -1, -2, and -3 coming up at night Celsius. So, man. Holy. I love you guys' definition of cold. I'm telling you, I was built for that weather. I ain't built for this Canadian weather, though. Get me out of here. I tell you. And y'all all saw how I looked when I came back from Bahamas. The energy was flowing. Tan like a Greek god. Tan like a Greek god. Got a body of a goddamn Greek. But, hey, I'm going to tell you this much. I'm in a better... That vitamin D, man. I'm telling you. I don't know how you can't be happy living with all that vitamin D radiating down on you. I'm going to just be honest. Keep it a buck. All right. Keeping it going. Here's the injury report. Now, they're going to have one come out tomorrow. There will be an injury report coming out. They're going to have Saturday participation because it's a Monday game. Now, Jerome Baker did not practice. Robert Hunt did not practice. Terron Armstead was limited. Christian Wilkins actually popped up with a groin injury this week. He was limited. They got a bunch of did not practices over there with Christian Fulton and et cetera, et cetera. Joe Jones, Jeffrey Simmons, obviously is going to be no good for them. He ain't going to be going for them. So, it's in terms of injuries, it's going to be one of those play it by ear. It's really going to be, we're into that situation again. We literally, here we go. We are into that situation again. That's just where we're at. So, man, I don't know what the deal is going to be here. I think they might be. I think Eichenberg's going to be I think Robert Hunt's going to be out. And I think Eichenberg will probably go to right. And then it'll be between Lester Cotton and Robert Jones at left guard there, clearly. We'll see how it works out. Now, Armstead. I don't know if Armstead's going to go here. I know they're playing it cautiously with him, and they said Armstead could have gone back in the game. So they probably will go, but come on, man. Like, do we need Terron Armstead on Monday night against the Tennessee Titans? Ask ourselves this question. Let's be real here. See, he's starting to get into those limited practices. So, I don't know. We'll have more answers tomorrow, right? When we get more information in terms of, with the final injury report. But do we need to throw Terron Armstead out there? Have we not learned from what just happened to Robert Hunt? And I agree with what Rome Gray is saying. Just rest him until Dallas. I'll do you one better, Rome. Rest him and Hunt till Dallas. Get these guys ready. So, just don't force this situation for a Tennessee Titans team on Monday night. It's just not work. I don't, Hooked Up Joe says, is Lamb okay to go? I think he's still got back issues, bro. I think we'd be going with Keon Smith. But Kendall Lamb, he's just like Terron Armstead. He'll tell you, I'm ready to go. I'm good to go. Kendall Lamb, it's a back. I wouldn't be joking around with that either. Keon Smith wasn't good, but he was competent. That's all we need. Give Kendall Lamb time to get... hey, if he's healthy and he's fully good to go, cool. But back spasms and back issues, you don't joke around with that kind of stuff, man. Back injuries and neck injuries, they are no joke. No joke. Regil says we'll be back for the playoffs. I've talked about this for weeks, bro. Before even people were like, talking down on you guys in the media in terms of like Omar Kelly and stuff, just blowing you guys off about it. I reported Isaiah Wynn like maybe the week after the injury. I reported on Patreon that I don't think he's going to be back for the playoffs. So that was all. I put that on my Patreon, and I think I put that on the community tab. If you're a channel member, you can go check that. Just go scroll back under the community tab if you're a channel member, and you'll see that. But yeah, I reported that weeks and weeks and weeks ago that the word was don't expect him to come back. Okay. Yeah. Will Brooks be activated off the 21-day window? It's looking like it. And I think the reason why is because it's like what I said today. I truly don't know I don't think 5,000 is attainable for Tua just based on the fact I think we're going to become a run-heavy team down this stretch. I think that's what we're about to happen. Get them to not trust our offense and not trust giving us light boxes. If they start loading boxes a little bit, oh my God, now we just go over top of them in the playoffs and the explosiveness comes out. So I think that's what's coming out right now. You saw it this past weekend. So I think it's going to, and you look at how much, if you have checked out the numbers, go look at how much we passed in the first half compared to how much we run in the fourth quarter. Now, obviously we have leads and such, and in the second half alone, our games are a tale of two halves. We throw the hell out of the ball in the first half, then we start really picking up that run game in the second half. So I think you're going to see more of a commitment to that. Look at last game. We finally saw us running the ball on short yardage situations. About damn time. And Rome, we're going to talk about it later. I just want to get that 2K out of the way. I really do. I want to get that 2K out of the way and so we can move on with our life. I that's where I'm at with that, to be honest with you. I am there. So let's look at how these two teams compare when you stack them up. The Miami Dolphins currently have the number one total offense, the number one passing offense. While the Titans have the 27th offense, the 27th passing offense, but they have the 17th rushing offense. Now, compared to the Dolphins, who have the number 2 rushing offense right now. In terms of scoring, it's not good for the Titans. 25th in scoring. They're only averaging 17.8 points per game, while Miami's averaging 32. second in the NFL. In terms of sacks, it is not good for the Titans, and we're going to get into this in a little bit here. 28th, 42 sacks compared to only 18 for third best given up by the Miami Dolphins. In total, if you look at the Tennessee Titans, they've given up 183 pressures on this season. 111 hurries, 41 hits, and 31 sacks. That is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Sorry, 42 sacks. I apologize. But that's what they're charged for. Quarterbacks are their quarterback has been charged with 11. The offense has been charged with 31, i.e. the offensive line, running backs, etc. And then look at how bad they are on third down. They complete at less than a third. They've converted at less than a third of their third downs. While the Dolphins are 8th in the NFL, they're converting at a 43.4 clip. This offense is going to be in for a long, long day. Man. Ouch. And, when you get even further into this stuff, the Dolphins have scored a touchdown on 41.9% of their drives at home this season. That's the highest rate in the league. The league average is 21.6. You won't see that on this. All right? Miami's outscored opponents at home by 21.4 points per game. That's second in the league. And also, we might be 9-3, but we're 9-0 in games in which we've led at any point. We've never blown a lead this year. No one wants to talk about that, right? Titans are 1-5 against the spread on the road. That's the worst record in the league. They've scored a touchdown on 6.8% of their drives on the road. That's 31st in the league. Tennessee has been outscored by 11.7 points per game on the road. That's 30th in the league. And Miami's averaging 15.7 plays per game of 10 or more yards. That's the most in the league. The Dolphins have 10 offensive plays of 50 or more yards this season. The next closest team has 5. It's just a mismatch when you compare these teams. It really is. Not just on paper, but in general. And when you get into the defense here, look at the ascent of Fangio's defense. 9th best defense against the pass. 8th best defense against the run, for a total defense of ranked 6th overall. Unbelievable stuff. Only allowing 203.6 yards through the air per game. Only allowing 96.6 yards on the ground per game. Well, look at the Titans. They're 17th in total defense. 22 in passing. They're allowing 230.8 yards per game. That ain't good for them. They're allowing 106.2 yards on the ground per game. 13th best in the NFL. We putting that up more. Now, what's interesting here is they allow less points than us. They allow 21.3 points, 16th best in the NFL. The Dolphins, they allow 22.2 points, which is 21st. And man, skewed by the score of the Chargers game and the Bills game as well, right? That skews that real hard. So, sacks. It's funny enough. Look at the Titans. Offense, 28. They've allowed 42 sacks. Dolphins, tied for third. They have 41 sacks, does their defense. Funny how that one lines up. Titans, they have 32 sacks, 15th best in the NFL. On third down, the Dolphins have the 9th best third down defense. They only allow a conversion clip of 36.5%. Remember, Titans are one of the worst third down teams in the NFL. They only convert at a 32.2 clip. Now, their defense, they allow a conversion clip of 38.2, and they're 15th best in the NFL. In terms of takeaways, the Dolphins are 19th. They have 15 takeaways. Titans, they don't get very many turnovers. They're 30th. They only have 10 turnovers as a defense. But as an offense, Miami Dolphins, they've given the ball away 19 times, which is 23rd in the NFL. Titans, they've given it away only 14 times, which is 10th best in the NFL. So, interesting when you say it's not good, you know. Again, you know, Tennessee's been scored by 11.7 points per game on the road, 30th in the NFL. Miami's outscored opponents by 21.4 points per game at home this season, second in the league. It's not good. And we're scoring a touchdown on 41.9% of our drives at home this season. The league average is 21.6. We're like almost doubling it. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely stupid when you think about that. Man, what a great day to be a Dolphin fan. Hey, we need to go over that kind of stuff. Man, it's going to be rocking at the Rock, and it's going to be a hard night at the Rock for the Tennessee Titans. You can bet your bottom dollar on that one. All right, let's get into my keys for the game. Let's start off with my offensive keys for the game. Shout out to my graphic guy for picking the most awkward Raheem Mostert picture I've ever seen in my life. I don't know what he's doing, but I'm going to say this. They have no one to slow down Tyreek and Waddle. Like, let's talk about from a speed perspective. Christian Fulton runs a 4.46. Sean Murphy-Bunting runs a 4.42. Trey Avery runs a 4.43. Their slot, Roger McCreary, runs a 4.5. I don't even got to get into the coverage stuff. They literally have no one that can slow them down. Now, let's get into the coverage stuff. Trey Avery, he's allowed 4 touchdowns. Christian Fulton's allowed 3 touchdowns. Now, Christian Fulton did not practice. So, you know, I don't know if he's going to be able to go this. I don't know if he's going to be able to go this week. I really don't. But if he doesn't go, then that means that that probably means in terms of replacement that Trey Avery is going to be replacing him. Right? And obviously that, you know, Sean Murphy-Bunting's not very, he's not what he was in Tampa, that's for sure. That is for damn sure. All right, so when you look at the touchdowns, again, Trey Avery's allowed 4, Christian Fulton's allowed 3, Sean Murphy-Bunting's only allowed 1, but here's the thing. When Trey Avery's targeted, he allows a 138.5 NFL passer rating. Christian Fulton allows a 129.3 passer rating. I mean, they're just getting chewed up. Don't matter who it is. Sean Murphy-Bunting, he's allowing a 91.3. Roger McCreary is allowing an 80.9 when they are targeted. Now, in terms of yards, Trey Avery's allowed 186 yards because he obviously hasn't played as many snaps as these other guys. Christian Fulton's allowed 577 yards so far. Sean Murphy-Bunting has allowed 332. Roger McCreary has allowed 422. Amani Hooker, their safety, has allowed 383. He's also allowed 2 touchdowns. And here's the other thing that stands out. Sean Murphy-Bunting and Roger McCreary, they're the only corners on the team to have an interception. Christian Fulton doesn't even have an interception. And, I mean, they're getting lit up in that secondary. Just absolutely lit up. Christian Fulton's allowed 130 yards after the catch. That's ridiculous. Roger McCreary is allowed 221. I mean, whether it's in the slot or on the boundary, they have no one to slow us down. I mean, like, I don't know what to tell you. They have no one. Number 2, you got to keep up that ground and pound. You look at how we've effectively run the ball, especially against the Commanders. Committing to it, even on short situations. Look at what we did last. 123 yards on 34 attempts. 34 attempts. That's I like that. And Tua plays his best football when he can play off the run. He does. You look against the Jets, 37 attempts for 167 yards. Right? You look at what we did. It's the results are there when you run the football. We had we had 28 attempts against the Raiders, and we finished just under 100. 30 is that magic number. You want to hit 30. The commitment to the run the last 2 games, I've loved it. Again, 37 times against the Jets, and then you go out against the Commanders, and you run the ball the way you do 34 times. I love the commitment to the run. Keep up the ground and pound. I truly believe Achane and Mostert will both finish with over 1,000 yards. I think Mostert, he is going to flirt with 18 to 20 touchdowns, and Achane is going to finish with 10-plus touchdowns. We're going to have almost 30 touchdowns between the two of them rushing, and they're probably going to both be 1,000-yard backs. That's freaking crazy. When you add on the fact that Tyreek's also going to have 2,000 yards and Waddle's going to have well over 1,000 too. That's nuts. That's disgusting. 20 touchdowns is like LaDainian Tomlinson prime level. Like, that's ridiculous. And dare I say, play a second clean game in a row, turnover-wise. Make it a habit. Make it a habit. Tua, Hard Knocks talked about it, how Tua really made it, really made it one of his big goals last week to play a clean game of football. Continue to do that. Continue to do that. Do not give this team life. Do not give them opportunities. Keep the ball. Make them pay. All right? So, they have no one to slow down Tyreek and Waddle. Keep up the ground and pound. Run game. And dare I say, play a second clean game in a row turnover-wise. Make it a habit. Make it a habit. Please. You broke the cycle. Continue to break the cycle. On defense, nothing over the top. 22% of the Titans' pass attempts are beyond 20-plus yards. You also look at the fact DeAndre Hopkins has found a connection with Levis on the deep ball as well. Shut it down. So, I'm just saying. Look at Hopkins this year. Right? He's had 19 balls thrown his way of 20-plus yards or more. From the 10 to 20, from the intermediate level, you're talking about a guy who's had 31 balls thrown his way. So, from the 10-yard line and beyond, he's getting fed. So, man, nothing over the top. They like to throw it over the top. Don't let them go over top of you. 22% of their throws this year are beyond 20 yards. That's crazy. Number 2 key, keep being dominant on third down against a bad third down team. The Miami Dolphins defense has allowed opposing offenses to convert only 15 of 42 third downs over their last 3 games. Right? The Raiders, Jets, and Commanders. While the Titans, check this one out. They've converted only 10 of their last 35 third downs over the last 3 games. They are not good, ladies and gentlemen, on third down. 10 of 35 against the Colts, the Panthers, and the Jags. That's not good. They were 2 for 11 on third down against the Panthers, guys and gals. We saw what we did to the Panthers. They were 6 of 17 against the Titans. Sorry, against the Colts. I apologize. And that game went to OT. Not good. Not good. And then they're 2 for 7 against the Jags. But 10 for 35 over the last 3 games on third down. Like, crush them on third down, please. Please. And again, the Dolphins' defense has only allowed opposing offenses to convert 15 of the last 42 third downs over the last 3 games. Love it. Only about a third. And then number 3, it's easy. Pressure, sack, pressure. Andre Dillard. Okay? You want it? Let's crunch some numbers. You guys are about to lose your mind. You guys are about to lose your mind. Andre Dillard, their left tackle. He's allowed 36 pressures. 36. Dylan Radunz, who's played left guard, right tackle, and right tackle lately for them. Guys, he's allowed 29. And here's what makes this better. Dillard, those 36 pressures he's allowed, that's the 7th most pressures of any tackle in the NFL right now. Dylan Radunz has allowed the 13th most amongst all tackles with 29. Daniel Brunskill. Oh, it gets worse for them. Don't worry. Their right guard, Daniel Brunskill. He's allowed the 12th most pressures at guard with 22. And their center. Oh, boy. And we know how much the interior can affect us if you disrupt. Their center, Aaron Brewer. All right? Check this one out. Y'all are going to love this. Y'all are going to love this. Their center, Aaron Brewer, has allowed the 2nd most amongst all centers. He's allowed 26 pressures. Those 4 players alone have allowed 19 sacks between them as well. 19 of the 42 sacks they have are from their Andre Dillard and Dylan Radunz, their bookend tackles, James Brunskill, and their center. Like, they are brutal. Van Gink time, baby. Flash a wink, it's time to gink. That's what's going down. Listen, again, nothing over the top. 22% of their pass attempts are beyond 20 yards. Keep being dominant on third down against a bad third down team. The Dolphins over the last 3 games, you've only allowed 15 of 42 third downs to be converted, while the Titans have only converted 10 of their last 35 third downs over the last 3 games. And again, pressure, sack, pressure. All right? You're going up against a left tackle who's allowed the 7th most pressures in the NFL, a right tackle who's allowed the 13th most pressures in the NFL, a right guard who's allowed the 12th most pressures at the guard position in the NFL, and a center who's allowed the 2nd most pressures amongst all centers with 26. This should be an absolute feast. Y'all thought Thanksgiving was a couple weeks ago. Boy, oh boy. We're not even having leftovers. We are deep frying these turkeys. That's just what's going down, baby. And then listen, my player matchup to watch. I mean, I could have done Tyreek Hill versus Christian Fulton, whatever. But I come back to this. It's got to be Vrabel versus McDaniel. I'll tell you why. The only chance the Tennessee Titans have to win is for Vrabel to outcoach McDaniel and have a fantastic game plan. That is literally their only chance. That is their only chance. They have to have an elite game plan. And McDaniel's staff and him have to be outcoached, which I don't see any of the following happening. But, I mean, that's literally it. It's on Mike Vrabel's shoulders this week. Derrick Henry ain't going to get it done alone. Will Levis ain't going to get it done alone. Vrabel needs to put together a great game plan for them to even be in the game, let alone win it. So, that's where I'm at. What else? And my prediction, you want my prediction? 45-14 Miami. I think this is going to be an absolute, ass whooping. We know everyone understands the international language of ass whooping. Well, the Titans are about to learn that the hard way. Let me say that. That's just what's going down. That's literally just what's going down. All right. Let's get into it further. Article here from Barry Jackson behind a paywall. Got to bring it to y'all. Asking and answering Dolphins playoff flex and contract questions. Asking and answering a few questions heading into Monday Night Football. The team that gets the number 1 overall AFC seed, a position the Dolphins now hold, gets a first-round bye and needs to win only 2 playoff games, both at home, to make the Super Bowl. So how do the Dolphins stand with tiebreakers with their main competition for the top seed? The tiebreaker between the 9-3 Dolphins and the 9-3 Ravens will be determined by their December 31st matchup in Baltimore. Miami has the edge now because of a superior conference record. The Chiefs' 8-4 win own the tiebreaker with the Dolphins by virtue of their head-to-head win in Germany. A tie between the Dolphins and Jags would be determined by conference record. Miami is 6-2. Jacksonville is 6-3. So there you go. If teams go head-to-head, it's determined by head-to-head outcome. If there's a tie, if they don't go head-to-head, it's conference record. Should they finish with the same conference record, the next tiebreaker is common opponents. The Jaguars have the current edge there. They are 2-1 against common opponents, while Miami is 0-2. Jacksonville could boost that record further by beating Carolina, but several other common opponents remain. Could the Dolphins clinch the number 1 seed before the end of the calendar year and before their January 6th to 7th finale against Buffalo? Yes. If the Dolphins win their next 4, Miami would clinch the number 1 seed if the Chiefs and Jaguars lose at least once this month. The Chiefs have Buffalo at New England, then Las Vegas and Cincinnati before closing January 6th or 7th at the Chargers. They're probably running that table, the Chiefs. The Jags have difficult games at Cleveland and versus Baltimore, then visit Tampa and host Carolina on New Year's Eve before finishing at Tennessee. Yeah, they got a tougher schedule for sure. If the Dolphins beat Tennessee, the Jets, and Dallas, but lose to Baltimore, could Miami still claim the number 1 seed ahead of the Ravens? Because Baltimore would then own the tiebreak with Miami, the only way Miami would be the top seed in that scenario is if the Ravens lose 2 games and Miami then beats Buffalo to end the season. That's not out of the question. Baltimore will be an underdog on Christmas night at San Fran. The Ravens' other games, home against the Rams, at Jacksonville, and then home to Miami and Pittsburgh. So the Ravens would need to lose at the 49ers and one of the other non-Miami games for Miami to be the number 1 seed with a loss at Baltimore. And even then, the Chiefs would need to lose one more game. So might the Jaguars. Is there any risk of the Dolphins squandering their AFC East lead? Miami is 3 games ahead of Buffalo and has a magic number of 3 to clinch the division title, meaning any combination of 3 wins and Bills losses. If Buffalo wins at Miami in the finale to clinch the tiebreaker with Miami, and if the Dolphins beat the Titans and Jets but lose to the Cowboys and Ravens, the only way that Buffalo would win the division is by sweeping a very difficult remaining schedule. Before playing at the Dolphins in the finale, Buffalo plays at Kansas City, home at Dallas, at Chargers, and home at New England. Could the December 24th Cowboys and Dolphins game be flexed to primetime? It cannot. Because the New England-Denver game on NFL Network on Sunday night, December 24th, is not able to be flexed. Fox will be able to keep the Dolphins-Cowboys game and will air it in nearly all of the country at 4:25. So there you go. They're not able to flex Denver and New England. Oh, that sucks. They're going to get crushed. Could the December 31st game at Baltimore, the finale against Buffalo, be moved to primetime? Yes. Though the Ravens game is unlikely to be moved to primetime if the team's schedule to play on NBC on New Year's Eve remain in playoff contention. There's a chance the NFL could flip the time of the 1 p.m. Dolphins-Ravens game and the 4:25 Kansas City Bengals game. Both are on CBS. That flipping is something that I expect will be discussed. The day and start time of the Bills finale will be determined after Week 16 games. It can end up at 4:30 or 8:15 on Saturday, January 6th on ESPN, or 1 p.m., 4:25, or 8:20 on Sunday night. With Terron Armstead again dealing with an injury, could the Dolphins move on from him after the season? It will be difficult. I heard he's going to get restructured anyways. Of his $13.2 million salary for next season. $5 million is already guaranteed. His $20.6 million cap hit will need to be lowered with a restructure, but even if Miami cuts him after June 1st, he would have an $11.3 million dead cap hit on the Dolphins' books in 2024. So cutting him isn't appealing, considering his value to the team. What's the deal with Jerome Baker's contract? His $14.8 million cap hit for 2024 shrinks to $3.7 million if he's cut before June 1st, but the team liked how he was playing before his injury. None of his $10.7 million next year is guaranteed. Injury update, Robert Hunt and Jerome Baker were the only two Dolphins missing during the open practice today. The team is going to be cautious with Hunt's hamstring. Javon Holland and Taron Armstead remain question marks for Monday's game. Christian Wilkins obviously popped up on the injury report. Left tackle Kendall Lamb, who's been nursing a knee injury, said he believes he will be able to play Monday if he's needed. So there you go. He's got a back and knee issues. Oh, my God. So there you go. Kendall Lamb, he said he's ready to go if they need to lean on him. He's ready to go. Now, I said and this is what I was kind of referring to. Let me get to that right there. Check this out. This is why I want this 2K to be done and over with, you know. Tyreek Hill said he doesn't think a wide receiver winning MVP is realistic. I'd be happier if Tua got it. Cheetah said his family talks to him about his 2,000-yard receiving pace daily, tries to avoid it, but promised he'd buy his dream car if he gets it, which is an Aston Martin V12. This man's going to be riding around Miami, bumping Rick Ross, Aston Martin music. Yo, you got to play that, you know, the version mixed in with Paris Morton music with Drake. That's the real version. But anyways, this man's really, like, see, this is like his family's talking about it. You know what I mean? Like, bro, we're trying to win a championship. 2K is nice. That's fantastic. I hope he gets it, and I hope he gets it soon so we can focus on what the task really is at hand here, and that's winning a goddamn championship. Not worrying about 2K. I ain't worried about 2,000 yards, man. I am not worried about 2,000 yards. Win a Super Bowl. All right, but I will say, if he finishes with 2,000 yards and, you know, Waddle has over 1,200 and Achane and, you know, and Mostert all finished with over 1,000. Man, that's an explosive offense, huh? Jesus, Lord Almighty. Whew. 5,000 yards between those four players would be crazy. That would be nuts. Think about that for a second. 5,000 yards between Achane, Mostert, Tyreek, and Waddle. That is like absolutely realistic, probably going to happen. And what's even crazier is we might have, you know, 30-ish touchdowns on the ground, right? Mostert's going to flirt with 18 to 20. Achane's going to get over 10. That's crazy. Wow. Talk about explosiveness. That is just unreal. And we talked about the turnovers. We highlighted them, keeping those clean sheets. Another reason to keep a clean sheet. The Dolphins, you guys watch Hard Knocks, so I thought I'd show you this. The Dolphins have that tradition this season of rewarding players who force turnovers and exhibit good ball security. Tagovailoa was given a cake this week, and then he gave it to the media. And for those asking, we can confirm, breaking news, these are Publix cakes. You can go to Publix, and you can get one of these yourself. I'm just saying, if you're, hey, go get one for Sunday, you know? While you're listening to me live react and you're watching the game, y'all should be eating some Tua cakes. Huh? And shout out to Tua for taking it to the media. Was it Van Ginkel? I believe it was Van Ginkel got like a wedding cake style for his pick 6. He gave it to all the workers at Hard Rock. So Van Ginkel, not to be forgotten here, Van Gink, he went and he gave it to all the employees of Hard Rock Stadium because apparently it was like a tiered wedding style cake that they gave him for the pick 6. I cannot wait for Hard Knocks. I'm telling all y'all. I cannot wait. Man, I can't wait till I'm down there next. I'm going to get a Publix sub and a freaking cake. Jeez Louise. Because, you know, the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, I backed off and coming to the Tennessee game. Ladies and gentlemen, if that AFC championship is a home game, you're going to need the National Guard to stop me from coming. All right? Well, I'm just saying. I'm coming. Sorry, guys. There might not be a live reaction for the AFC Championship. There will be for the Super Bowl, but not for the... I got to feel that energy, man. Warner Brothers says I'm going to Publix right now. I'll be upset if I don't see a Tua cake. That's amazing. Guys, there's over 340 of you in the room on a Friday. I love it. Do me the favor. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you are new. We're about a little under 800 away from 14K. Let's get there. Listen, expect me either this weekend with a stream open to you guys and the giveaway in it, or I will be live on Monday for the live reaction, and then on the recap show on Tuesday, I'll go ahead and do the giveaway, all right? Go to it. Information's down low. Go to episode 901. Tell me who your midseason MVP is using hashtag MVP, and you're entered. Guys, smash the like button on the way out. Love each and every one of you. Fins up all day.